Welcome to Hong Kong Brief. The content of the briefing includes HK plans focused, effective use of resources and budget, Chan. Cobra gold military exercise, South Korean birth rate, India GDP. Why Chinese investors are struggling to hold on to their overseas properties. As public spending outgrows revenue, should Hong Kong review where the money goes? Berlinale, film on looted colonial-era art wins Golden Bear. HK plans focused, effective use of resources and budget, Chan. Bloomberg. Hong Kong's Financial Secretary, Paul Chan, has said that the government plans to be more focused and effective in its use of limited public resources in the face of a deficit. Chan made the comments ahead of the release of the city's new budget on February 28. He added that the government has a better understanding of the concerns of Hong Kong people after receiving valuable responses during the budget consultation period. The official budget documents cover will be pastel orange this year to reflect expectations of a gradual economic recovery and an improvement in the business environment for various industries, according to Chan. Cobra gold military exercise, South Korean birth rate, India GDP. Nikkei Asia. Cobra Gold 2024, a multinational military exercise in Thailand, will begin on Monday and run until March 8. The exercise aims to enhance regional interoperability and will involve 30 participating countries, including co-hosts Thailand and the US. China and India will join humanitarian assistance training exercises. On Thursday, India will release its GDP for the October-December quarter, and South Korea will publish its birth rate for 2023, which is expected to decline further from 0.78 in 2022. Why Chinese investors are struggling to hold on to their overseas properties. South China Morning Post. Chinese investors who borrowed money from the bank to purchase real estate abroad are struggling to make mortgage repayments due to an economic slowdown in China and rising interest rates globally. Many are being forced to sell their overseas properties, resulting in significant losses. The number of mainland Chinese selling foreign real estate is estimated to have doubled from a year ago. The economic downturn in China has also affected investor confidence, leading to a more cautious approach to overseas investment. The property crisis at home has shaken confidence, with developers struggling to repay debts and deliver projects on time. As public spending outgrows revenue, should Hong Kong review where the money goes? South China Morning Post. Hong Kong's government expenditure has increased almost 3 times faster than revenue in the past decade, leaving the city's fiscal reserves potentially at their lowest in 10 years, a check of data has shown. The city's fiscal reserves, which peaked at 1.17 trillion Hong Kong dollars, $150 billion, in 2018-19, are expected to shrink to around 780 billion Hong Kong dollars, about 12 months of expenditure, in 2023-24. To boost government coffers, the Financial Secretary Paul Chan has revealed that he will ask all government departments to cut 1% of spending, increase public service charge, and grow the economic pie by deepening cooperation with the Middle East and members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, among others. Some subsidies, including a flat-rate transport fare subsidy, have long been criticized for being too generous. Government spending on social welfare, education, and healthcare altogether accounted for about 60% of recurrent expenditure. Berlinale, film on looted colonial-era art wins Golden Bear. Deutsche Welle. The Berlinale, one of Europe's major film festivals, awarded its top prize, the Golden Bear, to Madi Diop's documentary Dahomey, which accompanies the restitution of 26 of the royal treasures of the Kingdom of Dahomey from France to Benin. The documentary highlights the return of colonial objects, a topic that is currently being debated in museums of former colonial powers. The festival also saw other works that tackled political and social issues, highlighting the Berlinale's reputation as the most political of the major European film festivals. Investing in research aids biotech progress. SCMP opinion. Researchers from Hong Kong University of Science and Technology have developed a blood test for identifying dementia at its early stages, allowing for treatment before the onset of symptoms. The test has an accuracy rate of nearly 90% and is seen as suitable for those with a family history of dementia or aged 55 and above who show signs of memory loss. The researchers are in talks with city authorities about the test becoming part of regular public health screenings. Dementia affects more than 55 million people worldwide, with nearly 10 million new cases diagnosed each year. Hong Kong's Paul Chan faces challenge of Budget Balancing Act to help recovery. SCMP opinion. Financial Secretary Paul Chan Imopa is facing a tough test as he prepares to table Hong Kong's second post-COVID recovery budget. The city's deficit is continuing to rise as public revenues fall short of forecasts, and industries are still being held back by a manpower shortage. The property market and tourism sector have also struggled to rebound as expected. Chan must balance the need for economic recovery with the need for financial discipline and careful management of welfare subsidies. The government has already taken steps to boost the economy, but more significant measures may be needed. Hong Kong cyclist CC Lee wins second Asian track silver, Ng earns bronze. South China Morning Post. CC Lee Ziwing of Hong Kong won a silver medal in the scratch race final at the Asian Track Cycling Championships in Delhi. This was her second silver medal in 2 days, as she had already claimed silver in the women's elimination race. Lee will now compete in the Madison and Omnium events at the Hong Kong-hosted UCI Track Nations Cup next month. Ng Pak Heng of Hong Kong also won a bronze medal in the individual pursuit race, marking the first senior men's medal for Hong Kong in the event. Lee and Ng will continue to compete in the championships and aim for gold before focusing on qualifying for the Summer Olympics. Holiday travel delays fuel calls in China for bridge to Hainan. South China Morning Post. Calls to build a bridge between China's Hainan Island and the mainland are growing after tourist numbers to the island surged by over 30% during the Lunar New Year holiday and caused delays for visitors trying to leave. Ticket prices for flights from Hainan increased, and long queues formed at ferry terminals. A Guangzhou-based lawyer has proposed building a bridge over the Cheongzhou Strait, but authorities have said that the location of the structure and its vulnerability to earthquakes and typhoons make it unrealistic. Chinese used to escape to this former British colony. Now, cheap boba has Hong Kongers heading in the opposite direction. CNN. Hong Kongers are increasingly crossing the border to mainland China to shop and dine, and enjoy attractions. The trend is part of a shift in power dynamics between China and Hong Kong. While mainland Chinese used to flock to Hong Kong for its Western-style capitalism and freedoms, a growing number of Hong Kongers are now heading to Shenzhen to take advantage of its lower prices and increased offerings. These changes reflect Beijing's efforts to tighten control over Hong Kong, which has included introducing a national security law and trying to foster a sense of patriotism and belonging to the mainland among Hong Kongers. The shift is also economic, with Hong Kong's economy being surpassed by Shenzhen's in 2018. There is no excuse for continued loss of life at our building sites. SCMP opinion. 2 workers have been killed and 3 others injured in a scaffolding collapse at a luxury housing development in Hong Kong. The incident is the latest in a series of construction site fatalities in the territory, which has a poor safety record. The Hong Kong government has announced a citywide inspection of large-scale bamboo scaffolding projects, while the police and labor department have also launched investigations. Hong Kong's Association for the Rights of Industrial Accident Victims said that 25 construction workers died last year. China artists, dealers pin hopes on domestic collectors as global interest wanes. South China Morning Post. China's art market has seen a decline in overseas demand due to geopolitical tensions and the impact of the pandemic. Western collectors' appetite for Chinese art has faded, resulting in a decrease in sales and auction turnover. However, there is hope for the Chinese art market as younger Chinese collectors show interest in Chinese culture and heritage. The younger generation's rising enthusiasm, combined with their increased spending power, could offset the shrinking overseas demand and boost the domestic art market. Furthermore, the waning interest from overseas collectors could present an opportunity for Chinese people to buy back cultural relics and artworks at relatively affordable prices. Chinese team creates tiny robot that could help treat brain aneurysms and tumors. South China Morning Post. Scientists in China have created a microfiber robot that could reduce the risk of bleeding in brain aneurysms and tumors, according to a report in Science Robotics. The robot can be steered through blood vessels by a magnet and can aggregate to form a tight shape that blocks blood supply. Tests on rabbit organs found no inflammation or abnormalities, but the researchers said the robots were still in their infancy and further testing would be required. Hong Kong should cut property cooling measures gradually, not all at once. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong should gradually remove its property cooling measures rather than lifting them all at once, according to a tax specialist and a lawmaker. They argue that swift changes could destabilize the market. Their views go against calls from some of the city's top political parties to lift all curbs at the same time, which they claim would boost the sluggish market without causing home prices to rise. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.